The role of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam is that he is the father of prophets. Not only prophets, but he is our father. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Hajj. Millata abikum, the footstep of your father Ibrahim. Sayyidina Ibrahim is our father. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam also said, Ana da'watu abi Ibrahim. I am the dua of my father Ibrahim. Well, the reason that we chose Sayyidina Ibrahim is because of what is happening in this time and what is surrounding us. As a father having children, you want to raise them up as Muslims. You want to raise them up to embody the characters of Islam. Then you need to know about this, about Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Sayyidina Ibrahim's time was one of the most difficult times in human history. The first thing is that all those tyrants that he met, he barely have a single person who will believe in his deen. No one answered to his calling to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, except Sayyidina Lut. فآمن له لوط وقال إني مهاجر إلى ربي. Only Sayyidina Nuh answered his call, and he said, I'm migrating towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He left. And when he left, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with children. But that was when he was really old. And that was the first ayah that I've recited. He said, thanks be to Allah, praise be to Allah, who gave me at old age Ishaq and Ismail. So that means when he was old, he got children. And in that particular time, his power has already gone. Technically, it means that to raise up those child at the age that the man himself is already old is difficult. So Sayyidina Ibrahim has to go around and to find solution, because this will be his descendant. He has been fighting for against tyrant people who are worshipping sun, moon, and all those things. And he is now getting old, and he has children, and he wants to put them in a safer place. The first thing he did, he has to cut. He really has to cut the feeling and the attachment of his own family. It was really difficult. You cannot imagine it. And then he took Hajar to Mecca and Ismail, a baby. But the aim wasn't to put your family away. It's just try to find a safer place for your family to live in. This is what Sayyidina Ibrahim, as a father, has to do. What we understand from that is we always need to find a place whereby not to be selfish, but to create an environment or a place whereby children will grow up to be a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To be a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Well, if you are numerous like today, you have many Muslims with children, that is not going to be difficult all you need to do, you have to create it. First of all, create it in your mind and then create it in the reality. Because these children of yours is a trust of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your hands. If they go astray, Allah will ask you. Allah will ask you. So stop thinking two things. There are two things that you need to stop thinking about them. Because none of them will happen. The first thing is that if you are a migrant, you come to this country, you have to stop thinking that you're going back. It's not gonna happen. Well, ask yourself, when you were coming to this country, what was your purpose? To work, make some money, go back home. This is what you think. But when you are now replicating yourself, you have a son now. You brought your wife. You have one son, two sons. So when you're going back, there is no way to say that I'm going back. You have to stop thinking about that. The other thing that you need to stop thinking about it is that, well, when my children grow up, I will take them back home so that they can learn our tradition. You are your tradition. As long as you are here, you are your tradition. Make it happen here. And that is what is needed. It's a huge responsibility. You have to think about it every night you go to bed. Make it happen here. You are here. No one knows where he is going to die. Before having this wishful thinking that, yes, one day I will go back home and my father, it's not happening. Why you keep cheating yourself? Remember the first day you put your feet on this country, you were alone, without a wife, without children. And now you have 2 or 3 or 4 children. How are you going to raise them up? What should happen is that you have to create a community. You have a community where you have to help youngsters, children, to have that amount of knowledge about the deen. It is very important. Someone has to tell you this, and this is the fact. It's not happening. No one is going back. The other way of raising up your children, the same thing we have it in the history of Sayyidina Ibrahim. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي يقبل التوبة عن عباده ويعفو عن السيئات ويعلم ما تفعلون ويستجيب الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات ويزيدهم من فضل والكافرون لهم عذاب شديد. في هذه الآية التي قرأناها في بداية الخطبة يعلمنا الله عز وجل شيئين مهمين جدا، شيئين مهمين جدا. الشيء الأول هو جعل أو وضع أبنائك على الصراط من غير ما قوة. يعني أنت لا ترغمهم على ذلك، ولكن عليك أن تدعهم عليه. لأن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يقول: مروا أولادكم بالصلاة إذا بلغوا 7. مروا أولادكم بالصلاة إذا بلغوا 7. ما الذي أمرك النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بأن تأمر به أبناءك؟ إنها الصلاة. وماذا قال سيدنا إبراهيم عليه السلام في دعائه؟ رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي. بذلك نعلم أن هذه الصلاة التي نحن نقوم بها هذه كفيل بأن يصنع في الإنسان إنسانا، يجعل الإنسان إنسانا. هذه الصلاة متى تأمر أولادك بأن يصلوا؟ وفي أي عمر تأمرونهم أن يصلوا؟ أم أنكم تقولون هنا أوروبا نتركهم إذا كبروا لعلهم أن يهتدوا بأنفسهم؟ أم هذا ما تقولونه؟ لأن ذلك خطأ، أنت تخالف النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. إنما قال مروا أولادكم بالصلاة إذا بلغوا 7 سنوات، وليس العدد الذي لا معنى له، لأن 7 في اللغة العربية تطلق على أعداد هائلة جدا، ولكن هنا معني العدد معنى به. والسبب في ذلك الذي جاء في بعد هذه المقطع قوله واضربوهم عليها إذا بلغوا 10. Can you come please forward please? There's people standing outside there. فقوله واضربوهم عليها إذا بلغوا 10، خلاص المستشرقون أخذوا كلمة واضربوهم عليها وجعلوا من الحبة قبة، يخوفونكم على ضرب أولادكم يعني إسلامكم يأمر على الضرب. لا، الإسلام لم يأمر على الضرب، الإسلام طلب من الأب أن يضرب ابنه. هل الأب يكون له من ذلك فظاظة وغلظة ما يجعله يضرب ابنه حتى يدميه؟ لا، ولكن هذا تخويف من إبليس، هذا تخويف من الشيطان ليجعلك تترك أبنائك يتربون على يده هو. ضرب الأولاد، من يدري ابنه هكذا؟ لا أحد. ولكن هذا تخويف منكم كما قلت. فلا نستمع إلى هذه الترهات. نحن أمامنا سؤال عظيم، سؤال عظيم. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته، والرجل راع في بيته وهو المسؤول عن رعيته. مسؤول، ما معنى مسؤول؟ الله سيسألك. فنترك هذه الترهات لا معنى لها. إذا أنت لا تستطيع أن تربي أولادك أولى ألا تنجب. لماذا؟ لأنه تزيد في أهل النار. تربية الأولاد مهمتنا، هذا لا يتساهل به إنسان. And if you look at the hadith which Prophet ﷺ said, مروا أولادكم بالصلاة إذا بلغوا 7 واضربوهم عليها إذا بلغوا 10, with the ayah that we've recited at the beginning of the khutbah, we see that that is the second point of raising up children. The first thing Prophet ﷺ said that order your child or your children to do the prayer when they are at age 7. And I said the number 7 is not a number that indicates the huge amount of numbers, because in Arabic language, when they want to say something that is countless, they normally use number 7. But here, this number 7 is real. The evidence to that is when Prophet ﷺ said, وَضْرِبُوهُمْ عَلَيْهَا إِذَا بَلَغُوا 10, and you beat them if they reach at age 10. Well, what happened? The Orientalists will take the word beat them and they will just blow it. They will blow it and make it big. Then they will come to you as a Muslim and attack you. You Muslims, your deen is commanding to beat child. that whistle is shaitan's. You shouldn't listen to that. Your children are your responsibility. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask you this in hereafter. They will do that, and they will do it again and again so that you can give up your responsibility. And then you make your child to be a prey to the devil, to shaitan. And that is what they want you to do. It's nothing to do with conspiracy. This is the reality. Because human being cannot just left like that. It's an empty vessel that has to contain something. And if you do good, if you put good in him, he'll be a good person. Benefit lots of people. And if you leave it like that without any type of education, this is what is going to happen. That he will harm people, and he will harm himself and harm other people. And this is the main reason when Prophet ﷺ said that, and order them to do the prayer at the age 7. Don't let your children like that to say, well, when they grow up, they might find the way for themselves. They're not going to find any way, because that's not how it happens. Your father teach you so that you have to teach your children. And the dua of Sayyidina Ibrahim, what did he say? He said, Rabbi ja'alni muqima as-salati wa min dhurriyyati. So what we're trying to do is that, to connect the whole thing with the prayer. Why pray exactly? Because prayer is something that is enough itself to upright a human being to be a proper human being. The regulation is in it. Doing wudu, knowing that you're performing something, coming to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking him, when your children start to do that at the age 7, 8, 9, 10, they can maybe more better than you, because they've started at the early age, while you just find it out when you are at 30 or 40 or something like that. So that age is very important. The same age, 7, someone else is trying to take your children from you. The same age that Prophet ﷺ is asking you to bring them inside the mosque. We do it. What is going to happen? No one knows. How they're going to be good or bad, no one knows. Then what should we do? We just only do what Allah and Messenger say. And the rest will come. And then what Sayyidina Ibrahim did after asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make his children to be among those who will establish prayer, he said, then Rabbana ghfirli wal walidayya. Forgive me and my parents and all Muslims. So that is the second part of it. And that ends at the Surah Al-Furqan, whereby Allah said, وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Which technically means, oh Allah, give us, hab lana, or give us a side of cool from our wives and our families. So you keep making dua. The first thing, as we said, try to establish something that you teach your children. And the second thing, try to apply this, bringing them in the mosque. And the third one is to make dua for them, so that they may be safe. Because if you don't do that, you're responsible. You are responsible for your household. Every man is responsible for his household. A woman is responsible for his household. As well as a leader is responsible for his people. وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. And hereafter, each and every one of us will be asked. If you are imam, did you tell the people the truth? If a leader, did you tell your people the truth? If you are a father, did you tell your children the truth? You think that they're young, they haven't arrived at age that where they can understand things, while someone else is just seizing that opportunity, putting everything in them. You only be surprised the day that they will ask some of those type of questions that you don't want them, you never think they will ask, and then you are taken aback. Wow, I didn't know that he might ask this type of question. Of course, because you neglect that age and someone is utilizing it. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه، ولا تجعله متلبسا علينا فنضل ونزيغ يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. رب اجعلنا مقيمين الصلاة من ذرياتنا ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وقوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.